We did our project on the Heian period of Japan. My name is Delaney and I will be starting this presentation. Japan is notorious for having conflict over political power. The Heian period is no exception to this. During the Heian period, Emperor Kanmu moved the capital twice during his rule. This is why he is commonly referred to as one of, if not the most powerful emperors in Japanese history. Emperor Kanmu moved the capital from Nara to Nagaoka-kyo and finally to Heian-kyo. It is believed he did this because he believed that Buddhists were having too much of an impact on politics and wanted to move the capital away from a place with such a high concentration of Buddhists.
Hi, my name is Nevaeh Davis and I will be speaking on political turmoil. Emperor Kanmu lost his power to the Fujiwara clan. The Fujiwara clan was a family of all male members founded by Fujiwara. People in the Fujiwara clan often were regents of the emperor and then managed to overthrow the emperor. The Fujiwara clan would have their daughters marry into imperial families so that they could keep their power in the emperor's line. This was a very calculated and cultivated strategy. They wanted to have family as the empress so that they could manipulate the government to their own benefit. They also infiltrated the Buddhist hierarchy to make sure they had power in all forms. Eventually, the Fujiwara clan did have a decline after their peak in power. Michinaga was the leader of the Fujiwara clan when they were at the peak of their power. He gave 3 daughters to the emperors of the time and had 4 grandsons become emperors of different parts of Japan. He lived a very luxurious life, better than most emperors. Michinaga began to lose his grip on power. 2 provinces began rebellions against the Fujiwara. Soon after, Emperor Go-Sanjo recognized their decline and decided to take over.
Emperor Go-Sanjo, not born into the Fujiwara clan, and attempted to change court procedures and expenditures. The Fujiwara clan had a lack of daughters, so Emperor Go-Sanjo recognized this and took advantage of this rare opportunity. He attempted to change how the court procedures and expenditures functions, so he was seeking to establish a records office which would confiscate those who lacked authentic imperial verification. This was done to try and further tear apart the Fujiwara clan so they didn't have a chance to regain power over Emperor Go-Sanjo.
Okay, so now I'll be talking about the culture. So a major downfall of the imperial government would come about from a system called the shogun, or private hereditary lands, which were given out in exchange for war. The shogun were lands that were privately governed by the families residing in the land. The imperial government could not enforce law in these lands, so prisoners or fugitives would flee to these lands and they would be able to escape justice. On top of that, the shogun were not able to be taxed, so the imperial government was losing tax revenue on these lands. Before the Heian period, the imperial government had given out a great amount of land as shogun as a replacement for the monetary payment, which was a massive mistake. The imperial government soon found themselves without land to tax without any manpower.
My name is Delaney and I will talk about the culture. Another major mistake of the imperial government was to disband their military. The imperial government originally would pull recruits for their government from the common folk. However, none of the common folk were prepared and made terrible soldiers. The imperial government also had the issue of draft dodgers. No one wanted to be enlisted, so there were many people who fled to escape being forced to fight. There was also a lack of territorial disputes, so the imperial government saw military as unnecessary and a waste of resources, which in turn led to the decision to disband the military. This is where the samurai come into play.
During the Heian period, the samurai were the armed supporters of the wealthy landowners who were privately enlisting samurais. The word itself stands for the phrase to serve. The Genpei War broke out in 1180 between the Tairo and Minamoto clans for control over the Japanese estate, and then after 5 long years, the war came to an end when one of the most famous samurai heroes, Minamoto Yoshitsu, led his clan to victory against the Taira. The samurai would go on to dominate the Japanese government and society until the Meiji Restoration of 1868, which led to the abolition of the feudal system.